Oh my gosh, mommy, you're so out there. I'm gonna do a little mashup of sorts. Um, when I said I was open to surprises, I really was. I went to a new archery place, and I met a new person, and I just had a nap after a really nice cry. Just capturing some stuff. Really was healing, right? Sim, what are you eating? What's in there? You're so out there.
Because you deserve that. Yeah. So you're not really even looking right now. You're not even trying to date or like trusting in that whole thing. Because I'm getting the feeling of the last however many years, 40 some, they've done a number on you. You're kind of punch drunk. I'm getting the image of Rocky. You probably remember that movie from our youth. Yeah, like you're all like, cut me. You know, you're in the corner. Cut me, Nick. Cut me.
It was easier. It was easier to date in my 20s, but and maybe I still hold a candle to my deceased ex-husband because it's like we didn't have anything together, but I have what I have, and I'm just so tired of men looking at me like a meal ticket.
Yeah, you got a great deal of distrust. And I'm not telling you to date or go find Mr. Right. I know your attraction would probably be pretty poor. You'd likely attract some people where, like, if I were your friend, I'd be nope, skip, or swipe right. I don't know what they do nowadays,
Yeah,
but
I don't online date. Yeah,
you.
no.
But I feel like addressing the emotions in you because it's the fact that you're like not looking. That's sad. So there's grief with that. I think that's what they're addressing for me. The grief you have in the fact that you've given up to a large degree and you've quit. And they would like that to change because there is someone for everyone. Everyone has a soulmate. I'm not saying most people don't meet or most people don't get in a relationship with that person, but they don't want, they want you to grieve that as well. So that if there is a possibility that the emotions are going to stop it. So I think that's might be also why they brought up dad first, because those emotions are really huge. And yeah, it is sad to have given up and to distrust so much. And all of that could be grieved. It can change. They keep telling me it can change. It can be better, Liza. It can be better. You can.
Why not? I've had relationships after my divorce. It's not like I haven't.
Mhm. But right now, where are you?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So that's what they're kind of addressing. Um, and I get the feeling like they're feeling sad for you and they're rooting for you. And they just keep telling me it's not over. You don't have to quit. You don't have to give up. Things you can heal and change your life and get better. And that's really what they want for you.
Okay.
And they're like again commending you that you are aware. You're aware of what your issues are, what your blocks are, what your emotional baggage is. So that's something that people usually take years to see, and you're seeing it clearly. So I'm kind of getting the image of a door in front of you, and your hand reaching out and putting it on the knob. You can walk through that door if you want. You may have to feel some anger about having to, though. The feeling I'm getting is sort of like a bitterness of how much you've endured, how much you've suffered, and maybe not wanting to, kind of wanting to give up. So you might want to feel that first. Why do I have to? I don't want to. Why should I have to? It was them. It was their mistake. You may want to throw tantrums about that every day, and then you'll get into just how much emotion there is about how hard it's been, how few people you can trust. Is there anyone like a best friend or someone around you trust?
Yeah. I mean, not around me. I mean, yeah, there's one person around me, but I mean, there's a few distant person. I I I just don't want to be a burden on anybody.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a lot of emotion. I just felt that from you, and that is a weight that you're carrying. That is not healthy at all. That's really, it's almost like you're self-punishing by making that assumption. It's almost like you're stopping yourself from getting hurt by putting yourself down. They don't agree with that at all. They
Well,
want you to,
it's just that the times that I have tried
yeah,
to reach out to people, they weren't there.
I totally understand that. It's all about the emotions. It's not about the actions. I think why I brought that up is to expose that emotion in you. You've quit and you've given up to such a large degree, not 100%, but a lot. It's almost like you're in your 60s or 70s, but you're in your 40s and there's a lot of life to be lived and a lot of opportunities. And I get the feeling you have other things going for you. So it's not like you know, it doesn't really match. Like you're not right here. You're sort of like this. You're off. You got all this going for you, but your like opinion of yourself or your distrust of others is sort of like out of whack. And they're feeling like it doesn't have to be that way. They're totally understanding the past has happened, but it doesn't equal the future. You can begin the healing process. You're going to need to throw some tantrums. They're reminding you got to really let out this anger about having to. But once you begin that process, your law of attraction can change. So the persons that you do trust are not in the same city or they live far away?
Um, I mean, there's one neighbor and then there's other people. Like it's not, yeah, it's just I have only one person nearby. Um, and then everybody else is kind of distant.
That means something because a lot of us do have people, but either they moved away or like I've moved 3 times. We were born in LA, we lived in Vegas, then Austin, and then we came to Mexico. So we are also removed from our people. And I've noticed that you can say, yeah, I know people, but they don't come over every day. You're not going to go to lunch. That means something when you're far removed from the people you do care about and you don't talk to them often. That's significant. So that is, your soul is also doing that because there's no reason. And again, I'm not telling you to like make friends. Just notice where you're at and be aware of, wow, I don't attract and you already know the reasons you don't trust. But those like that feeling of the distance, you need to grieve that as well. Like, and maybe just imagine the scenario you would like. Imagine the perfect relationship or friendship and grieve it, how you don't have it. Let out these emotions just got to be released from you so you could remove the magnet inside of your soul that is going to probably keep attracting people you can't trust and who are heartbreaking to you.
How long have you been with your partner?
We've almost been married 20 years.
That's beautiful. I remember before you went off camera, I saw a little girl hiding behind you. Yeah.
Oh, that was probably our daughter. Yeah, she had to pass to go get the door.
Oh, okay. It's cute.
Yeah, it was kind of an amazing story to give you hope since you brought her up because our story is pretty good and I'm hoping to give it to you. I was also raised by wolves and treated horribly, and I had the worst jobs and the worst relationships. You couldn't even call them that. But when I was in my like early 30s, I was always, mediumistic and getting the spiritual stuff. But I think I grew to the point where I finally wanted something better. And because you have to be sincere. Your prayer needs to leave you in a sincere way for God to respond. A lot of people say they want money, they want love. They do not. God would never deny a sincere prayer. You actually have a lot of conflict. It's like the brake and the gas pedal. There's that give and take, but you got to take the foot off the brake. But when I was in my early 30s, I just really wanted to meet my soulmate. I could feel it was a prayer I felt all day. And so what happened was we met on a site. I don't know if you know who Ozomatli is, but they're like a somewhat famous band. And we met there. And even though we're both from LA, I wasn't living there at the time. And we basically talked. It was only our second conversation on the phone. And without having met each other in person, we just exchanged pictures. She agreed to not only be my girlfriend, but to be my wife.
Wow.
And we we just both felt it. And we just stood on the phone for like 9 hours. I called in the sick at work. Her phone died. It's the only thing that got us out. And it was like big love filled the room. And I was not the person you would have thought that would happen to. I was nearly 500 pounds.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she was a cheerleader. She's very pretty. Everyone adores her. And so, in fact, a friend that came and visited from Brazil recently here, I love this reaction. People do this a lot, but I was almost offended. She was like, wait, how did that happen? She
No,
looked
but
at my wife.
you don't look like you were 500 pounds. Like I can't even imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a picture right there, but yeah, I was because I kind of given.
Wow.
Yeah, I stopped drinking, so I turned to food, and I just gained a bunch of weight. I had a horrible relationship. I had a kid with her. That was bad. So I was not in the best place, but I was there was a sincere prayer coming from me, and she
Wow.
yeah, and so she agreed. We were married 3 months later, and we've been together almost
That's
20 years.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I want you to know, like, and I have stories from friends too that are like that as well. So I feel very sad. I feel a lot of like cariño for you that, please don't
Oh,
give up. Like, I can feel like your good qualities and you're hiding them too. You're not allowing yourself to being hurt. There's a bit of armor, and that's not really working for you. Your guides want you to keep healing, and don't put your profile on a dating site anytime soon. But
no.
work and see how the friendships change, see how those attractions change, and then who knows what could happen, but you still got to go deeper.
I mean, you're still a man, and men have to pursue. I don't want to pursue. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to chase. I don't want to pursue. Like,
Well,
oh,
when you go out, don't they bother you?
I just think men, I mean, I'm not saying you. I mean, I'm just saying I always look like a shiny little penny to them. Like, oh, look at this
Mm,
one. Like, oh, she's so cute. She's so flirty. I try to be friendly, but sometimes that comes across like, oh, I want you. Like I'm desperate. And then my
yeah,
smile dims down. You know what I mean?
people see what they want to see. Yeah, and you would attract, like, I just getting a strong feeling of you attracting the wrong people, because God wants you to feel the wound and the pain of it, so
But
you're attracted.
it's just ongoing. I'm tired. I'm
So feel
complete.
that first.
Yeah.
That's your first. Remember, I talked about, like, here's your emotions, and then you got these layers. I'm tired is the first one. Fuck this. I'm not doing it. I'm angry. I'm tired. Fuck this. I'm not doing it. And just throw that tantrum every day till you get to what's under there. And it may be more grief and more vulnerable emotions, less anger and more fear and grief. And as you wind down here and you start to get to the core emotions, and you don't have to get through all of it for something to change. Even if you just go down a couple of layers, your law of attraction will improve. You'll attract someone you feel like you can trust, maybe a friend. You might meet some people that you could just feel more comfortable being around, and your guard can be let down. It'll happen in increments, but God wants you to definitely heal so that these relationships with people can change. You are far from, nobody's putting you out to pasture. I don't know if you know, like, horses, where when they get old, they just put them out to pasture. You are far from that.
I'm tossed and driven low. Sometimes and driven lost. Sometimes